Welcome. Today is our late night show with romantic developer stream, or late night talks, not show. And we have today our stream series number 207. So more than 200 streams we did, and we reviewed multiple things. In wide variety of topics, of course, and starting from of course software development. We did some. Let me double check my sound. Okay, it's going on. So starting, of course, software development, discussion of life in multiple places like in Ukraine, others other things like developer life in Ukraine. Also, we discussed multiple political questions. Let's say yes, questions, and as well we did a lot of research in software engineering, of course, in AI fields. We go deep into what the current LLM is, build some solutions which use LLM, build some AI agents, and so on. I've shared most of my work on GitHub account under permissive MIT license, so anyone could use the same tools I'm using for my streams. By the way, about the tools, I need to start my stream helper. So for stream helper, I just need to start my command prompt, which called stream, and it will find my default generic configuration folder, and it look for some YouTube account just to find my authenticate me against that YouTube account and try to find the latest stream in this account, live stream which is ongoing, and then I execute also local whisper which do real-time transcription of what I'm speaking, and both things are called as AI chatbot with some context. It's a bot which say hi everyone, chatbot is active in live chat. It could answer your question about the stream, about last streams, about trying to get some latest general or AI news, and ready to discuss it as well, because I started Whisper. It also has the latest information about what we are talking on, so basically latest context. And of course it also has some history, so chatbot using some history, and it not reply to every message, just when it's here it should reply, and also it announce some of your messages to me during the stream, so I will not miss them, announced by voice. So as you see, we use all the technology. We use completion, we use even moderation, text to speech, speech to text, and so on. Okay. By the way, yesterday we look into some thing in 3D printing, and I told you about TinkerPad, which is a really cool project. And we looked into some project which I created just day ago, and I need to update it. So it's my updated version of that project, as you see. And now, yeah, I'll show you why I need to update that. So that it is. I'm not sure if it's visible or not. Maybe I could enable another light. I have some working light. So, and I could, yeah, probably show you somewhere closer. Yeah. So, okay, still not so good, but it's okay because it's trying to do, yeah, do focus on me. So it's some bottles, aroma bottles with some essential oils, and I just put them into the special holes as you see on the picture. And now I'm showing you why my previous model didn't work. So I have another model. It is previous model. Okay, I think I will show just closer to myself. So the problem was that I didn't expect the bottle has titles on them. So, and that paper, it didn't allow them to go to the full length in that hole, and I don't want to remove that labels, you know. And of course I could do something like that, but my initial idea to have bottles sitting quite deep so I can move that thing without afraid that it will go away or something. I put it in some small shelf. So that's it. It's how a TinkerPad allowed me to create such project just in minutes. I used to spend maybe 10 minutes for that, and during last stream you saw we spent another few minutes just to increase the hole size, and it's how we did it. So now we not only print, you know, some another dragon or something, but printing some practical things. And of course, saying printing some practical things, it's of course you could maybe not do any custom planning. You just could choose some of the prints which are useful, and you can find how to use them. It could be something, whatever, shelves, etc. Even on my desktop and around, I have multiple printed things like that. So it's just small box, you know, and I use it to, oh, it's vice versa. I'm using it to just, so not for this. So I use it to store some of my SD cards, small and big here. And because SD cards are so teeny itself, so yeah, I just can click and it will be hold. I could drop it in my backpack and have all my SD cards with me without fear to lose them or to break them, because it's pretty tough. And so on. Many tools, some of them printed, some of them not. So yeah, everywhere. But that feeling that you create something specifically designed for your need, it of course is very cool. And I believe I had some time during my last stream discussing how it could be motivated and how it could bring the joy, like you as a child, when child, you know, he did something, created, built castle from sand or whatever. They see a reason why they need it, and they feel very good emotions because they did it themselves, for like themselves, for the world, for them, their mama or father, whatever. And yeah, they see value in it, and many people then lose that feeling of creating value. Of course, it's hard to feel if you're doing some barely needed stuff and not working, not making money. This world is cruel, of course. But sometimes it's a hobby, of course, it brings some joy for sure. Okay, now we can go back, go back to our chat. Let me transition. So we did some prompts. Oh, it will not help. I decided to start new AI chat. It will not help, of course. So that would be top news in the AI field. artificial intelligence field in the last few days. So please search search this news dated February 6th or later and provide summary of the top 5 AI news from that range. What's wrong with the summary? Okay. Okay. By the way, OpenAI announced today that they probably will not be here, but AI News announced that they increased number of chat lengths. I believe they increased number of context window for so for all the level except free for 20%. So probably that mean that if before we had 128k tokens, so about 128k tokens, and you can divide for 4, multiply to 3, just to receive number of words it can hold in its memory. Now they said they have increased it for 20%. So instead of 128 plus 128 plus 128, so it would be 250, 128 plus 250, it would be 240. No, 237 something. So 137 key of tokens, which probably is cool. Yeah, I think I could find some way to see if is there any special news about that on OpenAI. Okay. I I I haven't expected that in OpenAI page, you know. They changed that interface, you see, pretty dramatically. So they put the chat just on the top. Deep research, O3 Mini, stories, introducing operators, latest news. So OpenAI system and some CSU systems brings AI to 500 students and faculty, and that news is pretty old, from a few days ago. So looks like even if it was a news today, can be searched by newest. Apply. Okay. They have some sort, and then they still have some news. Data residency builds on OpenAI enterprise grade data privacy, security, and compliance program for Europe. Okay, no that news, but I see it's on X. Let's return for top news by what ChatGPT thinks. I make it slightly smaller so you will see the whole content. Oh, okay. So big tech massive AI investments plans for 2025, and that is financial news from February 6th. Okay. And they said they okay, probably it's all about that $500 billion bill. Also, Amazon plans to spend over 100 billion on AI infrastructure, Amazon Web Services. So, and combined with Amazon, Microsoft, Alphabet, they already reached to 246 billion of dollars in this year, in last year, and they plan to spend 320 in this year. Of course, everyone needs AI they need to call the models, they need to be hosted somewhere. So data centers, CPU, GPU, fans, and AC systems, everything needed to for execution for that power to run. ByteDance OmniHuman AI project create realistic deepfakes. Yeah, I saw some images of it. So parent company of TikTok. So they created OmniHuman project, and it can generate some realistic human videos from minimal input, such as single image and audio clip. So yeah, they demonstrated Albert Einstein. It's what I saw. Yeah. So going forward, creating digital content, potentially reducing reliance on human influencers. Maybe it's not as bad. And let's see if we can see it in New York Post. Yeah, that is Albert Einstein, and they provided it as a single photo. And now it can restore even its speech.
What would art be like without emotions? It would be empty. What would our lives be like?
Nice. Dismiss. Can we go for full screen? Yes. So it's pretty impressive, you know. OmniHuman is pretty impressive. I saw the similar project from Microsoft, which is not public, when they also create some very quick results from single photo and 30 seconds audio, and they create like live avatar which could speak anything and also share some emotions and some facial features of the person from the photo. It also was crazy, and they postponed to releasing it to everyone. And you know, Microsoft is much less permissive than others. For example, for using O3 in OpenAI, you just need to spend $100 and be registered probably for a week. So I couldn't say completely permissive, but probably permissive model for trying new things in OpenAI API space. For Microsoft, not only you need to register Azure account, AI Foundry, or just go to aiazure.com and build all of those models, etc. But to deploy even simplest model from any O3 or something, you need to sign some forms and go to queue to receiving that access for you, and they need to review it, and you couldn't use your like personal email. You need to prove that your company doing some good and so on. So, or maybe not so good, but at least you paying them not much, or I don't know what they actually required to do to create those models, but it's not like very permissive. It's not something you go and you already created everything, and you can spend your money and try the things. So in Microsoft Azure AI Cloud, they gather much more information about you before allowing that to you. Proposed ban on Chinese AI app DeepSeek. Yeah, probably we already discussed that. February 6th. What is AP news? Yeah, it's, I believe, news from a few days ago. So they looking not only to actions against TikTok and not about that, you know, ongoing US-China, not only tech competition, but tax competition and other competition about trade competition and so on. So they just trying to, yeah, disallow usage of it. But the thing is that it should be clear, very clear difference between are you allowed to use maybe API of DeepSeek You know, if you're using it for product, especially if you work in government field, of course, I agree with that. You shouldn't send all your special information, special documents and everything to a Chinese AI server, SDK server, just to get your response regarding those documents or etc. and leaving that information probably in AI in Chinese data storage space, which lately could be analyzed or something, maybe even for good, you know, like to teach another model, because model requires a lot of data to teach. But if it's your personal project, again, maybe if you're from America, maybe it's not good, but again, but the other thing, they release that model for free. You can download it and run on your own hardware, and information you send to that model will never leave boundaries of your computer. Or if you deploy it in Azure, like now you could do very easily, deploy DeepSeek in Azure for free, by the way. Um, it will never leave the boundaries of your Azure deployment. So it should be allowed, because or like companies, big tech companies like OpenAI should probably do another round of creating something very similar, something the same powerful, and also put it in open space. OpenAI to open space sound ridiculous, yeah. I'm joking. I use Whisper from OpenAI and I like it. So you see, there should be something instead. So then I'll take it. But other than that, I mean, it's not sounds very well synced decision. France host AI Action Summit to address global AI governance. Nice. I believe it would be like with, you know, I don't know how it's called, Big 20s, which they hold its new meeting in Africa, South Africa. And Marco Rubio said that I don't want to discuss some things like the diversity and inclusion, as well global climate change, etc. It's not about our current interests and what we believe and what we are trying to do. So I will not spend nor my time nor tax dollars of my citizens just to go to that meeting, to that conference, and spend time there, because I need to work on other things which we value more. And I believe with all these actions to address global AI governance would be the similar story, at least from current US government. But of course, to run anything in Europe, you need to follow that, because they're still there. Amazon said to release generative AI rooms of Alexa. Okay. And the last, Amazon said to release generative AI roadmaps of Alexa. Oh, dear old Alexa. So it's interesting news. Let's read it more. So let me do something like that. Okay. Launch long-awaited generative AI update to its voice assistant Alexa. The company has scheduled a pass event for later this month to preview the new capabilities. The Alexa is expected to offer more advanced conversational abilities, leveraging generative AI to enhance user interaction. Reports suggest that the service may come with a subscription fee about $5 to $10 per month. This development aligns with Amazon's broader strategy to integrate advanced AIs into its consumer products. Really cool news, actually. I don't know why they so behind I know that Amazon actually not too behind on multiple things, but on generative AI and integrating that into voice assistants, I believe it could be slightly behind of other companies which don't have such huge IoT voice potential, but of course they have advancement in the voice assistance models and data and user experience. But from other side, Alexa has long history, and you see with DeepSeek, you just go to the market, you spend few $millions, not billions, $millions, and you create some model which just all the world. So of course, Amazon could do a very good return. So we discussed that news, and OmniHuman. Let's see. DeepSeek, ByteDance, OmniHuman. Can I try OmniHuman somewhere? And we have the search button enabled, so it should provide us good results. Let's go to response. As of now, not publicly accessible like with Sora. The technology is currently in the research and demonstration phase with no available sources or downloads. Provide updates and future development through official channels. You may find this video preview helpful. OmniHuman. Yeah. So nothing to try today. OmniHuman Lab. Nothing to try today from, I mean, there are so many things to actually try today, of course, but nothing from top 5 news provided by OpenAI. Of course, in the recent weeks, we have a lot of advancements in AI scene, including models to create music, to create videos, and so on and so on. But still, yeah, I'm not the viewer who jumps into every news. I'm just looking on the top level and try to combine it with some political and some thoughtful directions of development of that features, looking not only on the surface of clearly technical things, but also combining all the political events, situation, some tensions between countries in the world, and so on, so on. So of course it's not exactly technical, purely technical stream. Still, this week, as I mentioned before, I don't have great capacity to work on some of my projects, so I still struggling to do even streams. But starting the next week, I'll return to more development of some code, hopefully. At least I need to finish some of my projects. Probably, yeah, I can share my process of development it using some new technologies like Cursor, like AIM, and maybe some other models, because I heard someone release some new like SV agent software engineering yeah developer model, AI agent model to help with some tasks. So I'll surely look at it in more detail starting next week. So far I think that's it. Hopefully we'll have a great day, great upcoming weekend, and we could meet together, and of course hopefully discuss something. So drop your comments under any stream and we can start with it, or don't hesitate to join my next stream and drop something into the chat. Okay guys, see you, and have all good in you, in your heart, inside you. Build coziness which will be tended on values of love, of acceptance, and of course, of your kindness. Okay, see you and goodbye.